Well, congratulations on the film. I have to say, definitely not a feel-good story. It was incredibly hard to sort of watch. For you, what was it about the story, this character, that really made you want to be a part of it?
I think that it wasn't a feel-good story, you know. I think the only way to really feel good is by dealing with the wounds, you know, dealing with the wounds of ourselves and of the culture. There's a lot of not feeling good in America right now.
Yeah.
And you know, it's the signifier is all the uprising that's happening, and all of the political marches or anti-political marches, and you know, the conversation about race, the conversation about what this film is tackling of the economic divide. So there's a lot of unrest,
Yeah.
and then I feel like this film is a true reflection of an aspect of what's happening in our world, and I think we're crying out for light to be shed in order to do some healing and do some honest, difficult work in order to get to the feel-good place.
Right.
Because the feel-good place, you know, we can go and get lost in a superhero movie, you know, and we'll feel good for a couple of hours, but then we'll come back and, you know, we have to figure out another way to escape into a feel-good place. But how about if we just create a feel-good place that is a constant feel-good? Like, the only way we do that is by going into what doesn't feel good.
Now, because I know, you know, I thought I was pretty educated on what was going on with the housing crash and the bailout, but I was really surprised watching the film to see, you know, some of the things that were going on that maybe I wasn't aware about. Were you sort of shocked to learn about these things at playing the character?
Yeah, I didn't know the ins and outs of the manipulation and the entrapment that the banks and the you know, the powers that be are kind of wrapping around the common men, you know,
Right.
which we all are, common men and women. And so yeah, so I was horrified. You know, I knew there was a culture of exile. I'm aware of the culture of disclusion and of oppression, insidious, subtle oppression, where those oppressors are able to blame those being oppressed
Right.
for the position they find themselves in. I'm aware of that. I'm aware of it within myself, and I'm aware of what this culture tells me I need to be, which is really hard to fight against. It's really hard to say no to, because we're told we need to be a certain thing in order to survive.
Right.
But yeah, getting into the nitty-gritty and spending time with people who have been through this very thing, of course, was a huge part of doing this film. You know, maybe my favorite part was spending time with the men and women and kids and families that have and are still going through this hell on earth, and talking to them about what they can do and what they are doing, and how the desperation of that. It was profound to see.
There's a lot of desperation, but there's also, I felt like, a lot of resilience, you know, people
Yeah.
really doing what they have to do to make it work.
Yeah.
For you, how do you sort of get yourself into a character like this, besides just spending time with the family? I mean, I couldn't imagine talking to this many people who have been through this and sort of not just having it break me a little bit.
Oh yeah, no, I think it has to break me. It has to break you. That's part of knowing that you're going in the right direction, is when you get broken. So yeah, and then I find my way of knowing what this is, and I do know it somehow, even though I've never been through it. I know it in my bones. Yeah, so I really happy that I get to try and represent something that is important to know.